Today, we want to talk more about the secrets of the White House and the American presidency. And why is everyone fighting about becoming the president? So stay with me and don't miss this video. First of all, it is better to know that the President of the United States is never comfortable and must always be available. For example, they may wake him up at 3 hours in the morning and ask him an important question. Now, why is everyone fighting over becoming the president? Maybe his income is high. How much do you think the President of the United States gets paid? Or why should the President of the United States get paid at all? Isn't the U.S. White House free for the president? Or don't they prepare the best food for the President of the United States in the kitchen of the White House? Or doesn't the American president have a private plane, private helicopters, and private bodyguards? So why should he get paid? It is better to know that not everything is free for the President of the United States, and they send him the bill of many things. For example, the biggest expense of a president is his food. It may be hard for you to believe, but the White House kitchen does not give a single cup of tea for free. The president has the right to change all the kitchen staff if he wants, but the salary of all personnel except the head chef is paid by the president, and the president must pay the salaries of all personnel. Even the cost of all food and hygiene items such as shampoo, paper towels, soap, toothpaste, and toothbrush is with the president himself. If the president wants to organize a party for his friends, he will pay for the kitchen and the food for the guests. But if the party is too formal, for example, if the president of another country goes to the White House, in that case, the entire cost of the party and food is with the government. Another of the biggest expenses of a president is the cost of his clothes. The money for all the clothes of the president is with him. Especially the wife of the president, who becomes the First Lady of America, must wear a new dress every day that the cost of all these clothes is with the president. It is the custom of the wives of the American president that they should wear a new dress every day, and they should never wear the same dress twice. These are all the expenses that the president himself has to pay. But the costs of having bodyguards, cars, helicopters that the president rides, and private planes are all covered by the government. Now, let's go together to see how much the salaries of American presidents are. The salary of U.S. presidents is determined by Congress, and since the first American president until now, their salaries have increased 6 times, which was also due to inflation. The president himself cannot object to the amount of these salaries, and if the president objects to his rights, it will not be dealt with during his time, and he has to wait until the next presidency. In fact, they put this law so that the presidents are satisfied with the rights that are intended for them. The salary of George Washington, the first American president in 1789, was $25,000 a year. $25,000 in 1789 is equivalent to $873,000 today. This $25,000 per year was fixed for the President of the United States until 1872 and did not change for 83 years. After 83 years, Congress decided to double these rights. Ulysses Grant was the first American president who received a salary of $50,000 a year. $50,000 in 1872 is equivalent to $1,260,000 today. In 1908, the salary of the President of the United States reached $75,000 a year, and the first president who got this salary was William Taft. In fact, this gentleman has received the highest salary of a president, because $75,000 in 1908 is the equivalent of $2,503,000 today. William Taft earned more than 6 times the salary of today's presidents. In 1948, the salary of the presidents was increased again, and this time it reached $100,000 a year. This salary was halved compared to William Taft's salary. That is, $100,000 in 1948 is equivalent to $1,274,000 today. 20 years later, in 1968, Congress doubled the president's salary to $200,000 per year. and $200,000 in 1968 is equivalent to $1,765,000 today. These rights continued until 2000 and the end of Bill Clinton's career, until the Congress doubled this salary again and reached $400,000 a year. And George W. Bush was the first president to receive this salary. George W. Bush's salary was much lower than William Taft's. The salary that William Taft received in 1908 is equivalent to $2,503,000 today, but the salary that George W. Bush received is equivalent to $714,000 today. Even now, the President of the United States receives a salary of $400,000 a year, and these rights have remained constant since 2000. This means that Joe Biden's salary, which is now $400,000 a year, is actually lower than George W. Bush's salary. It is better to know that the President of the United States will still receive a salary when his term of office ends, but he will receive half of the salary that he had during his term of office. And it is interesting to know that in America, after the end of a person's presidential term, that person does not have the right to drive for the rest of his life. That is, in fact, his license is taken and revoked, and they have no right to go anywhere without a bodyguard. Even if they want to go to the WC before that, the person's bodyguard goes to make sure that it is safe there, then they allow that person to enter. Well, tell me in the comments what you think about this life. Or if you had the conditions for the presidency, would you like to become the president? Thank you for being with me until the end of the video and supporting me as always. The video ended today. Until the next video, love you. Bye.